In 1453, the walls of Constantinople met a siege weapon they could not stop. This technology shattered the traditional defenses of the Roman world, sending heavy projectiles through masonry that had stood for 1,000 years. These massive cannons revolutionized the siege. By turning the city's fortifications into rubble, they demonstrated that gunpowder artillery was the deciding factor in imperial survival. Sultan Mehmet II was the mind behind this victory. He invested in producing these giant guns, transforming the Ottoman state into a technological superpower. Conquering this legendary city was the baseline. From here, the Ottomans set their sights on a much larger goal: total dominance over both the East and the West. After the fall of the city, the Ottoman war machine moved with speed, expanding deep into the Balkans and securing the strategic straits that linked the Black Sea to the Mediterranean. Ottoman leadership recognized that their heavy artillery was a strategic weapon against rivals to the south and east, where traditional sultanates still relied on older methods of war. They would use this same explosive advantage to seize the ultimate prize, the title of caliph, and with it, the religious leadership of the Islamic world. By 1516, Sultan Selim I turned the empire's full might against the Mamluk Sultanate, moving his modernized army into Syria and Egypt. The Mamluks relied on an elite cavalry armed with bows and arrows. Their military culture harbored a disdain for firearms, viewing the musket as an inferior weapon for a true warrior. The Ottomans, by contrast, arrived with musket-bearing janissaries and mobile field artillery, integrating gunpowder into every level of their battle plan. The result was the total annihilation of the Mamluk forces. Selim's guns simply outmatched the Mamluk cavalry, leading to the rapid fall of Cairo. The spoils were more than territorial. Selim claimed the holy relics of the Prophet Muhammad and brought the last Abbasid caliph back to Istanbul to be housed here at Topkapi Palace. The modern power of the cannon had physically captured the title of caliph. For the first time, the Ottoman Sultan was the recognized spiritual leader of Sunni Muslims worldwide. This era reached its peak under Suleiman the Magnificent. His reign defined the empire's golden age, marked by architectural triumphs and a Mediterranean fleet that operated without a rival. Suleiman stabilized this massive, multi-ethnic empire through the Kanun, a standardized code of imperial laws that sat alongside traditional principles. But as the empire stabilized, it grew complacent. While Europe developed the printing press, Ottoman guilds blocked its introduction for over 2 centuries, fearing it would undermine traditional calligraphers. By the year 1734, even military modernization had completely stalled. When the state attempted to build a modern artillery school with French instructors, conservative clergy successfully shut it down on religious grounds. This systemic rejection of technical advancement meant that while the rest of the world modernized, the Ottoman military advantage simply vanished. By the late 1700s, the loss of artillery supremacy led to a string of devastating defeats against a modernized Russian army. These losses culminated in the 1774 Treaty of Küçük-Kaynarca, a legal agreement that forced the Ottomans to find a new way to project power. The treaty gave Russia a legal foothold to protect Orthodox Christians inside Ottoman lands. In response, the Ottomans redefined the caliphate. If Russia protected Christians in Istanbul, the Sultan reached back, claiming religious jurisdiction over Muslims living under Russian rule. Without iron cannons to enforce their borders, the Ottomans transformed the caliphate into a transnational diplomatic weapon, asserting authority far beyond their physical territory. This strategy, known as pan-Islamism, became the empire's final defense against the encroaching powers of European imperialism in the early 20th century. In 1914, as the empire entered World War I, Sultan Mehmed V issued a global proclamation of jihad against the Entente powers. The goal was to weaponize the loyalty of millions of Muslims living in Allied territories, attempting to disrupt the enemy's home fronts through religious conviction. While this triggered several revolts, a religious decree could not replace the industrial might the empire had lost. By the end of the war, the Ottoman state collapsed. The giant cannons of 1453 built an empire and captured the caliphate. But when those guns rusted away, the geopolitical echo of that religious authority was the only weapon the Ottomans had left.